All right, whose truck is this?
That's my truck.
And what's it been doing?
Steering has just been absolute crap. I
And
replaced a steering box and just tons of play and super scary to drive.
super scary on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like a brand new truck, you're not worried about it, and 10 being, oh my gosh, we're gonna die. What was this?
I'd say it was a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
It was pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
So.
All right, have you driven it since it's been repaired?
I have not.
All right.
Let's,
What are you going to do if it still is at a 9 or an 8? What are you going to do with this truck?
I'm getting rid of it. Flat out, it's gone. The sad part is I love the truck, but if it still does it, then it is done.
How much money have you put into this truck to fix this problem?
Today, I'm gonna have to say probably about $2,000
That's quite a bit.
fixing the front. Just trying to get things able to work and
All right,
function like it should.
Well, let's see if we're good.
Brian's Mobile One.
At the heart of every vehicle's steering system is either a rack and pinion or a worm and sector gearbox like you see here. This one was actually a Borgeson one that he had put in and had failed prematurely. You can see a lot of movement at the input shaft here. This shaft goes up to the steering wheel. You see very little movement at the pitman. And even though there's a very little movement at the pitman, you can see the steering dampener moving quite a bit. It's a lot like a rifle at long range in that the slightest movement here makes a lot of difference further out. You'll notice this isn't your typical steering gear nut. This is actually part of a kit that braces the steering gear and prevents it from getting play. Along with that brace, it braces the frame so that it takes the flex out of it. We've got the new steering gear in here. Basically, death wobble can happen from anything in your steering, front end suspension from having play, from ball joints, track bar, pitman arm, any of that stuff. There's things that you can do. You can see he's put in a BDS steering dampener system, which is a great way to dampen it a little bit, but you don't solve the problem unless you get rid of the play. As you heard at the beginning, when this vehicle came in, he complained that he had bump steer, which is basically when you hit a bump, you'll lose control, directional control. It just veers off some different direction, or it can initiate the death wobble. So what we do to test the ball joints for play, and they're usually my number one suspect if there's bump steer, either that or a track bar, is you put a pry bar underneath the wheel that you see here, and you just pry up and down. You look for any play up or down. You also grab the tire top and bottom and push and pull and see if you can get any movement in or out, toward the side of the vehicle. We'll get in real close. If you have an 1/8 inch of play, even up and down at the dealership, that's fine, no worries. You see that at like 30,000, 50,000 miles. This is acceptable amount of play. More than that, you want to do something about it. This is the driver's side ball joint, and again, you can see that the amount of movement here is just tiny. If there's a gross amount of slop, you'll see maybe an 1/8 inch of play up and down. You can see that this one's just barely moving at all. Another way to check the ball joints is to put it in here, as you see. If you can put the pry bar the other way, that's great. We just didn't have clearance here. But I check the ball joints first if there's bump steer. So again, here's the old steering gear. And this is the kind of play that we're getting at the steering wheel. I would fail this in a safety inspection in a heartbeat. It's terrible. It's way too much play. Looking out the side of the truck, you can see that the wheel isn't moving at all. The steering wheel's moving like crazy and there's no movement. That's all play. This is how tight the steering wheel is with the new steering gear installed. This is a proper amount of play. It should be about 1 inch or so. That's tight. That's a lot better. Here's what it looks like from underneath. You're always going to have some bit of play because there's going to be a little bit of gear mesh or run out, but just so much better than it used to be. This new Borgeson steering shaft was a lifesaver because it fit good, but it was a nightmare because the old one wouldn't come out. It was so rusted. This is the old busted Borgeson. It's a 6-bolt. You see it's got the 6 bolts here on the cover. This is the new hotness Redhead unit. Seriously, that's the brand name, Redhead. That's pretty cool. Anyway, it looks smaller, it doesn't look as heavy duty, but it works. It's also compatible with the frame to box brace, whereas the other one wasn't. So with all the parts and labor that have been invested in this and the new steering gearbox with less play, is it going to keep the truck? Let's find out.
That, just from driving it just this little tiny bit, that's amazing. It feels completely different.
New truck?
Oh my gosh, this is so nice.
Do you think it'll be
man.
Do you think it'll be okay on the highway?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I love it. This is so much. Oh my god, it's so much better.
It's a new lease on life, huh?
It is. It's a brand new freaking truck now. I'm so excited.
Sweet, I'm glad to hear it. So what happens if we hit a bump before fixing it?
It would shoot to one side. And
that's what you want in a truck. You want it to
want it to tow your trailer and just bump and throw you off to the side, because that's just fun. And this is so much better.
So you're mentioning a trailer.
Oh yeah.
Does it do it more so when you have a trailer on?
No, but it was the scariest time when it did it with the trailer.
Right.
I was used to it before, but oh my gosh.
How's that feel?
That is night and day difference. Like, that is awesome.
Are you gonna sell your truck?
Nope, I'm keeping it now. Now I'm like, woo! It actually turns when you steer it instead of. Okay, there we go. It's nice. It is so much better. High speeds is just not scary at all now.
So what brand was this one?
This was the Borgson 6-bolt design.
Oh, okay.
And it just apparently, I think I got the lemon.
Maybe so.
It came from the factory that way.
So you made a bunch of adjustments on the play?
I did do the adjustments, and I got it so stiff to the point where I could turn the wheel, be 90 degrees, and it would stay. So
it wouldn't return at all.
Wouldn't return at all. So then I loosened it up, and it was better. But then it was just bumper pulled the whole way.
Just like bumper
driving.
Bowling, just side to side.
Just side to side.
You hit it, sawing at the steering wheel.
Driving on a wet road, actually I had to correct it, and it threw my back end out.
There's people watching this right now that are like, that's my truck. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what mine's doing.
That's what it does. Holy crap.
So any play in these trucks at all, like this is the 1 ton, but any play at all can cause bump steer where it just turns real quick. We did a check on the ball joints. This is what that looked like. This is the left side. And you can see that that's fine. And then this is what we got on the ball joints on the right side. And you see on this side I tested both underneath the tire prying up. And then I also tested between the upper C section and the steering knuckle. And they're tight. But if you have bump steer, it can be that or a track bar most of the time. But if your steering's just loose like it was with the steering gear that we have here, then basically just go through it, just get all the play out of it that you can. Should we throw some more money at this?
No, I'm good.
No, you're good.
Even though I've got a $400 track bar in the back seat.
I'll
just put that in later.
Hang on to it, get some use out of the one that you have.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no sense in putting that in, it's working good. Cool,
So,
well awesome man.
I appreciate it.
Bones, you're
Thank
welcome.
you. It's going to make so much nicer to drive. Oh, it's a total different truck.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Glad we could get you helped out.
Yeah, me too. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe. Bonus footage at the end.
So my dad used to say that a long time ago we used to call ourselves Nabeho.
I was talking to that guy.
And then the Spanish first came up with Navajo, which was a little knife. We used that arrowhead to cut things with. They saw that. Call us people with little knife.
The only thing
That's where the Spanish got the name Navajo. Later, Catholic priests, 1600, changed it to Navajo. I was writing the report and changed it to Navajo.
Navajo. Went to Navajo.
So many looters.
Navajo.
Navajo.
This is all pottery fragments and corn cob from this granary.
That's cool.
This is all, and the sawzee. They were industrious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this. You got pieces of pottery all through here. All through here.
Yep.
That's a piece right there too. Little piece there, little piece here.
See the color on it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I've never seen places so much.
I've got another video that talks about death wobble and that brace in more detail, as well as a video about track bars and what they do with the Dodge. You can see a video where it shows if you take a track bar off, how it moves the body side to side over the tires. You feel free to click those. We'll see you in the next one.